Hello friends, this is Raman Gill with the weekly Forex market analysis for the week of June 12 to 16, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. If you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. Let's start off by taking a look at our economic calendar for this week. Monday is fairly slow in terms of major news coming out. On Tuesday, we have CPI, which is the inflation number for the British pound. The British pound has taken a big hit with the exit polls showing that there's no clear majority. As a result, we saw a big 250 pip drop for British pound. So this week will be very important for the pound, and it's still feeling the impact of the elections. Further into the New York session here, we have PPI numbers for US here, as well as the current account number for New Zealand dollar in the Asian session. Industrial production numbers for China. These numbers will also have an impact on Australian dollar as well as the New Zealand dollar, as they are big export partners with China. Going into Wednesday here, we have average earnings index for the British pound. We have CPI and core CPI numbers, which are again the inflation numbers, which are very important numbers that the Fed tracks for the US here, as well as the retail sales numbers. And then in the afternoon here, we have FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, and federal funds rate. So this is the interest rate, and we are looking for an interest rate hike of 25 basis points here. Now, with this one, even though we are looking at Fed to raise rates, however, this may actually not be very bullish for the US dollar. And the reason for this is because market is expecting a dovish hike. What that means is, just like the last time they raised interest rates, the commentary that came out of Fed was actually not as bullish. They were not that hawkish on the economy. As a result of that, even though we saw an interest rate hike, the US dollar actually dropped as a result of the FOMC press conference and what they said in the press conference. So be careful with this one. We could get a similar type of scenario again, where even though Fed may raise interest rates, but their commentary may not be as positive. As a result of that, we may actually not see a big increase in the US dollar. Following that, we have GDP numbers for New Zealand as well as employment data for Australia. Both of these will be important. Going into Thursday, we have more central banks. We have a Swiss National Bank monetary policy assessment, as well as the press conference and the interest rate there as well. Interest rate is expected to stay the same. And then we have retail sales for the British pound. And into the New York session here, we have another central bank. We have Bank of England. We have the official bank rate votes, monetary policy summary, as well as the official bank rate. Again, this is not expected to change, especially with the recent parliamentary elections. We are not really looking for things to change here. And then we have unemployment claims for the US. We also have some leading indicators here: Philly Fed manufacturing index, capacity utilization rate, industrial production numbers. All of these numbers are leading indicators and are important. However, the biggest thing will be the FOMC here. And then we have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking, because we do not have a press conference right after the monetary policy here. As a result of that, what Bank of England Governor Carney says will be very important. Another central bank here, we have monetary policy statement for Japanese yen, as well as Bank of Japan policy rate and the press conference. So this will be very important for Japanese yen. Going into Friday here, we have building permits for the US, as well as housing starts and preliminary UOM consumer sentiment number. A big week for central banks, so watch out for that. Let's move on to our charts here. We are looking at Euro US dollar chart here. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see that price has traded in a range for the last 3 weeks. The top of the range is 112.90, whereas the bottom of the range is 110.1100. So this is the range we're looking for price to trade in this week as well, and we'll have to look for a break out of this range before we can see any true direction for the euro. In this case, since we have rejected the top of the range 3 times, we may see the price come towards the bottom here. So the bottom would be 11100. If the price comes into 11100, we are looking for the price to bounce off of that level and move back towards the middle of the range. And if price goes into the top of the range, we'll have to watch out the 11290 number, and we're looking for price to bounce back towards the middle of the range from there as well. Once we see a break in either direction, we can then trade that. Looking at the daily chart here, we can see that this is the range that price has been holding. We haven't broken this range in some time. As a result of that, we are looking for price to stay within the range. Looking at pound US dollar, we did see a big drop in the pound dollar as a result of the election. There was no clear majority. As a result of that, we did see pound drop, and now we are looking at 127.70 as a key resistance level for this. This is our daily chart, big 250 pip drop, and now we are into this resistance here at 127.70. If this resistance holds, we are looking for price to come down lower. The support in this case will be at 125.20 area, so we could see price come back lower in this. So keep an eye on 125.20 level. The first support though will be at 126.20, this level here, and then we're looking for price to go into 125.20 area. So overall we are bearish on pound dollar. Dollar CAD here, we have seen price trade within this range for the last 3 weeks. Now we are looking for price to move towards the bottom of the range. We have seen the rejection from top of the range here. The top is 135.50 level and the bottom of the range is 133.80. So we are looking for price to move back lower here towards the bottom of the range. Once price gets into 133.80 level, that would be a deciding factor. If the price breaks below 133.80, we're looking for price to move towards a 132.60. 133.80 is a key support for dollar CAD. Aussie dollar here, we did see a bullish close for the week. As a result, we would expect the price to move up higher. However, we are into resistance at this level. 75.70 is an important resistance. As a result of this, we could see price come back lower. We may see price come into 74.70 level, and this will be an important point. If the price holds above this, then we are looking for a move higher. Otherwise, we could drift back towards the bottom here as well. Looking at the daily chart, we did see price push up quite nicely, and now it is pulling back. 74.50 would be an important level to watch. If the price holds above this, then we're looking for a push back up. However, otherwise we may see price come back and test 73.60 level again. New Zealand US dollar, looking at the weekly chart, we have seen price move up for the last few weeks. Now the price is starting to overlap here. We are running into resistance here. As a result of that, we may see price move back lower. So something to keep an eye on here. Daily chart here, as we can see, price started to compress here. It hasn't moved up aggressively. As a result of that, we could see a pullback in this. And in terms of our levels to watch, 7100 would be an important level. If the price holds above this level, we're looking for a further move to the upside. In that case, the first target would be 7250, second target 7380 level. So 7100 would be an important level. We're looking for a pullback into this level and then a further move to the upside. From a weekly perspective, the candle closed very bullishly. As a result of that, we could see a further move to the upside, but before it moves up higher, I am looking for price to come down and test the 7100 level here. So that's it for today. I will see you next time.